I wasn't late. I went live on time. The button did not work for me again. God damn this button. God damn it. Welcome. My name is Mikey. Welcome to Hellstormwargaming. Thank you for so much for tuning in live. It is Monday. It's the drama show. But I also stream every single Wednesday and Friday. It's very exciting. Live every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thanks for tuning in. I'm live. I'm actually live. I've been live this entire time talking. I've been talking the entire time. I've done all this. I've read everyone's chat. God damn it. Anyway, welcome to the stream. If you're watching live, then let me know where you're watching from. And if I'm actually live, please let me know, because I'm not really sure anymore. If you're watching this back, then amazing. I'm actually not live anymore, but I was live. And thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's really cool of you going back to watch the streams. I live stream every single Monday, Wednesday morning, and Friday. It's an exciting week. It's not quite as exciting when you repeat it all. It's an exciting week because we have some juicy gossip to go over regarding the thumbnail, regarding tournament organization, and some cool juicy gossip from tournament organization from yours truly, me. I was doing some tournament organization. No, Sal, mate, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. So that's some juicy gossip. On Wednesday, I'm actually going to be doing some only hand streaming, some painting on stream. We're going to be finishing off my new Grey Knights army, because that needs a few finishing touches, as we saw last week. Because I've not streamed the whole week. It was last Monday I actually streamed. I've been off all week. It's been a crazy busy week. I was at a wedding. I ran a tournament, and now I'm back. Now I'm back to talk about the juicy gossip. So we're going to talk about some tournament organization gossip regarding thumbnail and Aeldari. We're going to paint some models on Wednesday, and then this Friday, I'm actually not going to stream. It was all a meme. But I'm actually going to be streaming the Goonhammer Open all weekend with Tom and Nick, the two faves. It's great. And thank you to Big C for the gifted membership, to Barry Caldwell. Big C, you're absolute legend. I really appreciate you loads. Thank you for supporting the channel with that gifted membership. But we are going to be live all weekend at the Goonhammer Open with a brand new cool setup for streaming event. It's going to be super chill. It's going to be super good. It's going to be very reminiscent of Boys Club, if you remember Boys Club from a few weeks ago. So that's the plan. So if you want to support the channel, we're trying to hit 10 members every single stream. We're going to have one update on this little bar very soon. So let's try and get to 10. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. Let me say hello to everyone in chat. I'm going to ban my brother. Welcome. Hope you're all doing well. Let me read the chat again that I've already replied to. How late will he be? I wasn't late, clearly. Maggie's desperate for a better Eldar army so he can win his own events like Magoo does. I don't play my own events because I'm not a scumbag. I only play my own events when it was like lockdown, and when there was those little times you could actually go outside. That was the only time. And I went 06. Eldar's always been broken. They either crush everyone or they get crushed by everything. That is true. Eldar are always rubbish. They're never great for the metagame, that's for sure. I'm just going to shout alternating activations because it's pointless comment, because GW aren't going to do it. It's true. It's true. They won't do it. Just ban Eldar from your tournament. That went well. Remember when everyone was saying that, and that went well? It was great. Is that Hellstorm event terrain in the thumbnail? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Which is funny. And can we buy it soon? Shall I make some cardboard terrain and sell it? That'd be funny. Mikey has scrapped the WTC board for the cereal box board. It comes with awesome freehand painting. What a throwback. Good evening, Jimmy. Welcome. Dear Wag, welcome. Barry Caldwell, afternoon, mate. Welcome. Brett's watching from Canada. Amazing. Hong Kong from Armageddon. Amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's a long way away. Mallorca. That's not quite as far away, but it's still far. Gentle reminder to make sure you have a TV license if you're watching live. Much love. Me and my brother were having a conversation. Proved him wrong twice today. Just what I'm going to say. They just love proving your own brother wrong twice. He told me Death Note, there's 2 seasons, but it's not. And also, he tried to tell me that he needed a TV license for live broadcasting when it's a streamer, and he don't. So, winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's all I'm going to say. But thanks for tuning in, James. How you doing? Well. And thank you to Mercenary Q for that gifted membership. Let me try and fix this overlay. It seems to be taking its sweet ass time to update. But thank you so much, Mercenary Q, for gifting that membership to Brett. Make sure you say thank you, Brett, and join our Discord, because you're a freeloader now. You can join our Discord for free for 30 days. That'd be really cool. You get to talk to me, you get to hang out with like-minded hobbyists, get to talk about tournaments, memes, everything. It's a great time. It's a great time. Would Eldar Swordwind be okay to take without giving out bad vids? I don't know what the Swordwind is. Could tournament organisers just remove dev wounds, but it would make the game so much better? Yeah, there's a lot of issues with the game, and that's probably one of them. 2 parts of screw you. Element hosted its first tournament and RTT since the incident went off without a hitch or anything particularly unusual being flussed. Really, Alistair? That's crazy. I hope everyone paid their respects to the memorial in the bathroom, to the 6 and the 1. Good evening, my fuzzy drama llama. What's the goss, my dude? We've got some gossip. It's right at the thumbnail. Just unpacked my dear golden spoon. The power spoon. How's it going, Paco? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Paco was at our event today. He was the last place, so I gave him a new game, some Dragon Bond miniatures, and also a new cool power trophy. A power spoon trophy. It's been a while. I know I've not streamed in a whole week. So I was at a wedding last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which is super cool to go to. You might see me in my suit, looking fine, obviously looking fire. That's why I look so. That's why I look so nice today. It's because it's the hangover from going to a wedding. And then like over the weekend, basically, we didn't have enough people to stream the event, which is really disappointing. But we are planning on streaming the October event, which is happening very, very soon, which is very scary. Our big event in Sheffield, 120 players. Tickets available, link in the description. Be cool to have you. Food included as well on both days. It's going to be a 6-round tournament. It's going to be a great time. And we're going to be talking about my event that happened this weekend, how I'm planning on expanding it to 120 people, and what other people are doing to try and expand their events where they don't have the terrain, clearly. But yeah, and then obviously like this week I've got today, we're streaming on Wednesday, we're going to play some Grey Knights and chat drama, whatever's happening. And then Friday I won't be streaming, but I'll be streaming the Goonhammer Open all weekend. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Needed those dice this weekend. I know you did. Dave Irvin did really well with 1,000 Suns this weekend. Super cool to see. Paco, if he gave you a new game, mate, take the hint. He didn't have to take a hint. I did say it to him. You and Georgie looking on point. Thanks, James. Very kind of you to say. I was upset on Wednesday because I had to wait for a dishwasher to arrive at the apartment and had nothing to do. I'm afraid at the same time I was streaming, I was drinking an espresso martini. Okay. So yeah, so last Wednesday I was drinking free beer, wine, cocktails, having a great time. So I'm so sorry I wasn't here. I did miss you all though. It was very weird not streaming a lot last week. I felt very odd. I kept forgetting what day it was. It was very strange. I didn't like it at all. Yeah, it just felt a bit out of sorts, you know? My routine is streaming, you know? I get up. I'm like, okay, I'm planning for stream this evening. I'll get up, make a coffee and start the stream. But yeah, it's very strange. Very, very strange. Hey, Brett Thompson. Thank you so much for gifting the membership. Thanks for paying it forward. Rembrandt, make sure you join our Discord as well. Thanks for becoming a member. Really appreciate it. No drama, no stream. We all know where the bread is buttered. Is that rude? Where the bread is buttered? That does sound rude. Hopefully the people at the wedding insulted you as savagely as we would have done. No, everyone was saying how nice I was because I am actually really nice. Just arrived in Edinburgh. Guys, you made it back, Paco. Thoughts on the new NID reveals? We'll do that as well. We'll do that. I still don't know the name of the game for these minis. It's called Dragon Bond, Paco. Dragon Bond, that's the game. The rulebook's free as far as I'm aware. Or they're just cool minis to paint. Or do whatever with. Is Goonhammer as in people are goons or wine goon? Not the goon. No, what is it? The goon commanders. I don't know. Goon command. Something about. There's some Reddit. I was listening to a podcast the other day. Something about the goon commanders. It was pretty funny. But no, Goonhammer. Goonhammer is the website that does like meta reviews, meta watch, and stuff like that. Proper meta watch, not like the Games Workshop one. Espresso martinis are the best. I agree. TikToking croc. Ain't no freeloader. Well, you're not anymore, Brett. You passed it on clearly. Passed it on clearly. Hopefully we've done that bit. I smell heresy. Good evening, Dan. How are you? The NID prices are horrible. The NID prices are kind of high. Yeah, the codexes going up another $5 is pretty bad. Did you have fun at the weekend, Mikey? The meal looked nice. Yeah, I had a great time. I'm really tired. I've got a massive headache, but I always have fun running events. But the problem is, I'm just like, when you're organising an event, you're kind of like running around making sure everyone's having a good time, making sure everyone's going smoothly, everyone's doing everything right, make sure there's no like people looking puzzled. You want people to be playing games, and it's like a whirlwind almost of just like running around, seeing loads of Warhammer going on, and just chatting to people. So I'm really shit at taking photos. Really shit at taking photos. But yeah, I always have a good time because it's fun and I learn a lot, you know. I learn so much about like Warhammer and like the weird rules interactions are always fun to like work out. There wasn't that many, there was a couple, but like not really like weird rules interactions. There was one funny rules interaction of the Incarn versus the Incarn. And like the Incarn has a special rule when a unit dies and the last model is removed, the Incarn can deep strike as close as possible. Who deep strikes first if you've got two on the board? Who deep strikes first? and yeah, it's just like that was quite funny because like both the Incarns just trying to deploy on the same dead body. Who won the pick and mix? I think it was Bam. Bam or Carl Cook, I can't remember. They had to play shows first. Yeah, that's exactly that. But at the time, they didn't know. So, I am Australian. I've been too scared to look at new prices. Understandable, mate. Not me. I got a shirt and mine is shame. Okay. How's it going, Bam? It was quite funny though. It was great to meet Bam. I've actually got pictures of Bam's army. They were absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, it was very funny. Never had to give someone a yellow card in a raffle, but I have now. Monday stream, let's go, baby. Good evening, Andy. How are you? For the MSA, it's not that big, but it's 1 litre per pack. Ouch. Yeah, 1 litre per box, I imagine, by the looks of it. Are you the type to dance at weddings? I'm a very good dancer, Mr. Green. Excellent dancer, I would say. Was a great weekend, Mikey, and I'll be back for sure. Felt very welcome by everyone. I'm glad you had a great time, Barry. Glad you had a great time, bud. Lovely to meet you. Did you ask if it was late for the wedding? It wasn't my wedding, or allowed to be late. How much garlic bread was it this one? No, there's a slightly more pizza than there should have been. They cocked up the order again, but it was nowhere near as bad as last time. Oh man. Oh man. How much bloody pizza arrived that time? That's so funny. Is there anything you aren't amazing at? I'd say being humble, but I'm quite good at that too. That's about it. If you're an Aussie, I'd be looking at organ donor list and eyeing up my second kidney. Excellent. I'm excited for Sheffield now. Sheffield's going to be great. The Sheffield event's going to be really fun. So if you aren't attending, you can go on the internet and go to hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop. Oh, that's not the right window. Oh, I remember what I was doing. Give me a second. There we go. I recorded some Subnautica the other day. There we go. You can go to the website, scroll down, and there they are. Super All-Stars. 35 in stock. So we're at nearly... Oh, we're at like 85 players now, I think. As you can see. 120 players, 5 types of terrain, cash prize and golden tickets to win. Tickets on sale now. 28th and 29th of October 2023 at the OEC. So you should come along. It'd be really fun to have you. It'd be really cool. I would really like to come to the tournament. I've never been before. I can just get a ticket and yellow it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Of course you can. I insist. All I ask is you learn that what your army does and how 40k works. And if you know those two things, you have a great time. How much pizza do you actually order for an event like this? So like I use Costco to supply the food for these events, because we have like 50 odd players usually. So like 50 odd players plus staff plus the people who work, well, my staff, and then people who are working at Sanctuary. You're talking like 60 people. So I order around 20 18-inch pizzas, you know. So like Costco does 18-inch pizzas, and they do like family bundles where it's like an 18-inch pizza and 18-inch garlic bread. So it's like we do like 3 types of pizza. We buy 6 of each, so that's 18. I don't buy 20. I'm wrong. So we have like 6 of each type of pizza, so 18-inch pizzas, and then 6 garlic breads at the same size. So it's 24 18-inch pizzas. So if you do the maths, like the area of 18-inch circle, 18-inch diameter, we can do this. It's a lot of pizza. I spelled diameter wrong. I'm an idiot. Diameter 18. Calculate area. Oh, got it. Calculate area. Where's the area? Do it. 254-inch area, right? And how much area? I'm trying to do this. This is too slow. I've done this before. It's a lot of pizza. Area of 44 by 60-inch rectangle. Area of a rectangle. No, inches. 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 Square inches. Oh my god. How did I put that? Oh, there it is. 60 by 44 is 2,000. And what number did we say was one pizza? It was this number. So 254. 254 times 24 is 6,108. And how much is that? 2,600. So 6,108. 6,108 divided by that. It is 2 and a bit battle mats worth of pizza. We got there. We got there. We did it. Let's go, baby. We did it. Oh, okay. A lot of pizza. 2 tables worth of pizza. Do it, Steve Rogers. Yeah, Steve Rogers should come anyway. You should come to our event anyway. I'm going to pin it in the top chat. Quick math, hell yeah. I yellow the LGT. Yeah, you did yellow the LGT. That's true. Even though I'm not playing, I'm excited to come have a look and see. Yeah, you can have a come down and have a look. That's for sure. Can we do 60 per ticket and bring our own terrain? No. No, you bloody can't. I've played since third ed, but not competitive ever. So, like, the first round can always be a bit weird because you might get someone who's, like, quite competitive, quite good at the game. But usually they're quite nice. But once you've, like, played a few games in the tournament, you start leveling out to people of your similar skill level and have, like, the similar mindset to you. So, I wouldn't worry about who you're going to play. Just accept that the first round might be a whitewash because you might pull up against the person who's going to win the event. You've got every chance of playing that, or someone who's never played a tournament before like you. It's like the equal type of chance. But once you've got through that first couple of one or two rounds, then it's like plain sailing. You're having a great time then. I'd come and play if unpainted Votan were legal for tournament play. Lol, that poor army has been sat on my work desk unpainted since they came out. Yeah, sadly you do have to be painted. But yeah, you got this. You got this. I believe in you. Also, just shout Mikey when you need him. He's really nice in real life and not arrogant douche he appears on screen. Thanks, mate. I can barely play and I go. It's like a fun old man drinking and dice rolling club. It is, and then we've got a bar at this one, so that should be fun. Jesus, I'm scared of the number of pizzas we're getting for October even now. So well, the venue's actually supplying the food this time, so I don't think we'll be having pizzas, but Sanctuary pizzas will still be there. Why is he doing maths again? He calculated the biggest dildo he can 3D print. I can print quite a big dildo. It's true. I mean, look at this. That's quite big. I played an event at the weekend and the winner was an Aeldari player with half painted and half built models with no bases, etc. Absolute joke. Right. Well, make sure you have a word with your with the old tournament organizer if you're not happy with it. And people say don't use math after school. That's true. Just bought a ticket. Absolute YOLOing. Thanks for the encouragement. See you in Sheffield for the Wooden Spoon, lad. Let's go, Steve Rogers. If Captain America can buy a ticket, so can you. So can you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Steve Rogers. How's it going, Peace Guardian? How you doing? Well, bud. Have you discussed the new NID decks yet? What new NID decks? I've not heard anything about it. Those pizza boxes will become big line of sight blockers. Nick promised me you'll talk about the 3-2 meme list. He promised you wrong. The food is good. The food is good. What's the point of 10 points for being painted if you have to be painted anyways? Because this is a tournament, you know? Because it's a tournament, right? Like, in normal games, like, the plus 10 for painting is, like, encouragement for you to paint your army. You know? Encouragement for you to just paint your army. Whereas, like, in a tournament, you're going to be painted anyway, so you always get that 10 points. Whereas in a casual game, you technically wouldn't get the 10 points. Aye, lads, 06 is still a day out. Hell yeah, Steve, you got this. You got this, Steve. Steve Rogers, Captain America. Coming in, taking all the spoons for himself. Taking all the spoons for himself. That spoon is mine. I can't wait people to fight for the spoon. It's going to be so funny. It's going to be so funny. It's not very casual if you're deducting 10 points and not being painted. You're actually not deducting 10 points. You never earned them. So, isn't it? You're not removing 10 points. You never gain 10 points because you're never painted. Well, then you're painted and then you get the 10 points. It's great. That's like the point of it. So we're trying to encourage you to paint, you know? But also I use it as a penalty if people don't submit their lists on time. If their army turns up and it's not fully painted or it's not like fully built, I'll be like, well, you can play, but I'm going to give you yellow cards. So your first game's 0 and your rest of the games are -10. It's a bonus 10 points. I agree. Please tell me you actually have a wooden spoon to award the last place. We don't give out a wooden spoon, actually. We give out a power spoon. Do I have a picture? That's it. I'm shit at taking pictures. For a content creator, I'm really bad at using my phone. So I designed a trophy. I use a trophy that is like readily available online, but I customized it. And then I make them myself. I'll show you a 3D render of it. That's not right. Victoria's Secret's power spoon. I mean, Paco's got one. He thought to send a picture of it, but I'm just going to open it up digitally because I can't find the picture. Sending it. Have you got one? Oh, you're a legend, mate. I've got the render now, but I'll open the other one as well. Here it is. Thank you so much, Paco, who won this weekend. Here it is, the power spoon. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's a powerful, powerful spoon, as you can see. In gold. Big teamwork play. We got there in the end. But yeah, this is what I use. This is what I use for microphones. This is me holding a microphone, but also it's me holding a wooden spoon. But yeah, we have this one, and then we have like one holding a paintbrush for best painted, and then we have some more traditional ones for first, second, third. So this is like a trophy that was readily available, but I customized it to be a spoon. I'm gonna win that, bad boy. Hell yeah, I can't wait. So we've got the name tag look, Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 4. Look at that. Custom trophies. By yours truly. By yours truly. Speaking of tournaments. Shall we do Drama Farm? What's happening in the invitational bit? So like this year we've run 4 events, okay? So 4 events. We've had All Stars 1, 2, 3, and 4. So obviously 4 was the one that happened this weekend. It's the last heat. So the heat is basically a qualifier. So each event, the top 2 people at each event are being invited back to the main event in October, which you can come and play at. But they'll be able to play in a separate, secret, fully live-streamed, showbiz-full, drama-full, beautifully displayed on Hellstormwargaming's YouTube channel. They're going to be playing in an invitational knockout tournament. They're going to be playing up to 3 rounds of Warhammer. So 8 people goes down to 4 people after round 1, to 2 people after round 3, round 2. And then 1 person will be undefeated. 1 person left in the tournament at that time. So while you guys are all playing your games, we're going to be running an invitational alongside it. And the invitational is the top 8 people, top 2 from each event. And they'll be playing for a chance to win a golden ticket and a cash prize. A golden ticket to the World Championships of Warhammer that looks a little something like that. Like this. It looks something like that. But I'll have made it. It looks something like this. So they'll be competing for one of these and a cash prize. And then there'll be also the main event, which you guys can join and buy a ticket for today. which will also be for a golden ticket and a cash prize. So it's very exciting. If the same person came first 3 times, are you inviting the top 2 and 3? Yes. So basically, each event is the top 2 people unless they've already qualified or can't make it. So if the one person can't make it, then it gets dropped down as well. So there's invitational happening on the Saturday, and then we'll be streaming the main event on the Sunday. So if you can't make it for whatever reason, it'd be really cool to have you. So just saying, really cool to have you. But if you can't make it for whatever reason, we've got some really exciting games happening. We've got 8 of the best players out of our events playing on the Saturday, and then everyone else, all of those good players, playing on the Sunday. So, like the Morbius, I'm actually going to gift them the Morbius poster. I'm just going to write like a big $ signs on the back, and that's the check. So our top finalists. Shall we look at our finalists? Shall we have a look of all the winners, maybe? I think golden tickets are the only way to go to the Atlanta Open. So it's the World Championships of Warhammer, and yes, it's invitation only. Like me, because I won one. So I won one. So let's have a look at the ITC rankings of this year, and we'll have a look at our players who are playing in the Invitational. How's that? So we have initially the first person to win Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 1 was actually Josh Roberts. Now the fun fact about Josh Roberts is Josh Roberts has been to all 4 events this year. And has only lost 1 game. Which is awfully funny. Does the ITC ranking not work anymore? How did you not play Eldar to win a tourney? Dunno. Lucky, I guess. Global. Does anyone know why the ITC ranking's not working? Or is it just me? Is it just me? I think it might just be me. There we go. So, the first person to qualify was Josh Roberts, who is actually number 3 in the ITC. And as you can see from his ranking, Josh Roberts this year, he won the Lead Super Major, but also he won Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 1, won Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 2, and also won Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 3. And then came 5th at Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 4. So he only dropped 1 game in total at the All-Stars events this year, which is pretty insane, to be honest. So he lost to Conrad on Saturday in the round 3. So that is Josh, our first qualifier. As you can see from here, we also had Nathan Roberts qualify with Tzeentch Demons at the time. So Josh was playing Custodes back then. This is 9th edition, and then Tzeentch Demons. So Nathan, he's played a bunch of events. Not quite as many as his brother, but still quite a few events. He came 4th at War of the Roses, 3rd at Birmingham Team Tournament, 2nd at Hellstorm All-Stars, and 8th this weekend. Let's go back to have a look at his main ranking in the worldwide rankings on ITC. And he came... Oh, he's not showing up. Global. Not want to work, no. He's definitely here. Definitely here. But Roberts. It's very crashy. It doesn't like surnames. Nathan Roberts, 308th, as you can see. So that was Heat 1. So we had the Roberts brothers qualify at Heat 1. At Heat 2, we had Josh Roberts qualify again. So we actually dropped the placing down to Christopher Langton. This is so slow. This is so bad. I thought this would be way better. Like, every time I type. Site's broken. So, Christopher Langton is 900th in the ITC rankings. Obviously, the numbers are starting to get quite large. However, They also haven't played enough events yet. So we had Christopher Langton, and then we had Mark Pilkington qualify, but he's actually helping me run the event. So we passed it down to Connor Nichols, who was also playing Necrons at the time. Oh, no, he's playing Adeptus Custodes at the time, sorry. Connor Nichols. 240th. So he's done alright, actually. He's done pretty well. So there are Heat 2 qualifiers. At Heat 3... At Heat 3, we had Josh Roberts win again. But then we had George, who came second with Drakari, who can't actually make the event. So it went over to James Smith in third. James Smith. Smith is the most common name on here, I imagine. But I don't think he's played that many events. Is that the right player? About to find out. Yes, it is, because he's played all 4 heats. He's only played my events. What a Chad. He's only played All-Stars events. And where did he cut? Where is he? 1700. You can play only Hellstorm events, and you can get in the top 2,000 of the rankings. Excellent. So you got James Langton, James Smith and Alex Fowler, who qualified at Heat 4. I'm probably better off search Fowler. Plays Hellstorm, takes Chaos Knights every time. What a boy. Absolute boy. Dedication to his craft. Alex Fowler is 900th in the rankings. So he came 4th at Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 3. So he says he's played Heat 3 and Heat 4. Came 9th at this weekend. Because he came out and played again. So then this weekend, we had a brand new person win the event, which was actually Petford, or Alex Petford. I was trying to type his name, but it's going very, very slow. As you can see, this is great. So Alex Petford, 17th in the rankings. They got some pretty high-placed players coming down to the event. So actually, Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 4 came first. Came 5th at Beachhead Brawl, which is interesting. Leeds, he came 11th with Aeldari in 10th edition. So as you can see, a pretty strong player joining the rankings here. And then finally, we had John Swallow qualify, also with Eldar, but he couldn't make it. So we passed it down to Matthew Langton. So we got the Langton brothers coming down, both competing together. So we got 2 sets of brothers playing in, which is pretty funny. So Christopher Langton obviously qualified earlier than Matt, who's only played 2 events, and I believe they're both Hellstorm events. Yeah, they are. The first and the last of the year, came 3rd. So there are 4 qualifiers for the Invitational, so they'll be invited back. I'll likely be using the ITC rankings as a seeding system to be like the top player plays the bottom, and then they play each other, then they play each other, then the closest 2 play the closest. But unless someone has a cooler idea or a cooler concept to come up with of how we can do the pairings for the first round. But that's going to be fully live streamed. So it's only going to be 4 tables, then 2, then 1. So that the event should be fully streamed and fully covered. So you'll be able to see that happening and see someone take home a cash prize and a golden ticket. And then yeah, we'll be doing it all again the next day, which is pretty exciting. They should make anyone attending Atlanta with a golden ticket play the army they won the golden ticket with, even if they become nerf. Would be funny to see. That would be funny to see. How many people to drop from Heat 4 to get Death Guard in the Invitational? Oh, Des. Oh, Des, mate. Oh, Des. So, Des came 34th. So, you need at least 32, 31, 33. No, 31. 30. 29. At least 29 people to drop, I'm afraid. From Heat 4. Because either they've already qualified or they're going to drop. I heard Iceni Chief is changing his setting to Roberts to improve his 40k ability. Mercenary, thank you so much for the 4 months, brother. I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving me a fantastic community to hang out in. Your streams are alright too, I guess. I'll take it. Make sure you join that community in Discord for free. And if you remember, you get more access. They like the Hellstorm events when they're top players because the organization is excellent. The vibe is really cool. The vibe is really cool. And I love the atmosphere that we've managed to get at these events where it's kind of like, you can be a competitive player and come have a great time because you've got great tables and I'll make sure you're playing correctly. But also, like, for like a more casual person, it's very laid back because I don't let anyone get too sweaty. And if they get sweaty, I go and have a word with them. But it's very laid back, so it's just nice. It's like a nice atmosphere of like, there's like 50 people here. Big players are coming to come have a good time. They got some pizza and stuff. They have a great time. And then more people, more casual, playing like a pretty sizable event that's not too big for them to be nervous about. And yeah, I really enjoy running events, and I really like what we've got. So, also like Micah, they enjoy Seal Clubbing the remaining 75%. I'm not a Seal Clubber, okay? I'm just really good at Warhammer. I'm really, really good at Warhammer, okay? Get too sweaty, what a phrase. Yeah, people do get sweaty sometimes, that's fine. Anyway, let's talk about the drama. Let's go. Let's talk about the drama. It's a drama time. Oh, that's too fast. I was too fast. I couldn't find my button. This weekend, we had the Hellstorm All-Stars Heat 4, our second 10th edition tournament. The last one being on the release weekend of 10th. And we decided to show you some of the cool tables that we've actually run. The tables in tournaments are the most important thing you could have in a game, barring the people stood across from you at the table. Terrain is so massive in events, and people don't realize just how big it is until they put their army on the board and realize there's nowhere to hide and they're going to lose everything turn one. So what I want to show you is our new tables. So we've been running a multitude of different tables. We run 5 different types. The reason being is you're going to play on a random table, and no matter what placing you are, you could play on something that's based on a WTC layout. You could play on something that's based on a Games Workshop Open layout. And you can't plan for it, which is kind of some of the fun, can be some of the frustration as well. But it's kind of like just like a variation. And like no matter what table you're on, any table, any layout could be different. You're going to be playing the same mission as the person on this side, even the person on this side of you. But you're going to be playing on this type of table, they're going to be playing on this type of table. Because that's something that's lost in tournaments. And that's my unique selling point. So back off, you can't copy. But one of the tables we had was the WTC type table we added bases to. Does everyone remember when I cut my battle mats? And I turned them into these? Remember when I made a bunch of these? With my old offcuts of battle mats and everyone said I was stupid? Well, don't they look great there? Don't they look great there as tournament terrain basing? Who needs acrylic when you've got battle mat offcuts? But this is just like an example of like one of our new tables that we're running now. It's like based on the Alpine GT layout, so I can't take all of the credit. It's very loosely based on. But as you can see, all of our terrain now has a big base. So these rectangles represent the footprint of the terrain, and it made it a lot better because like Games Workshop wrote the rules for bases to be in terrain, and it kind of like adds some abstractness of like where the terrain is, but it also made it very interesting because it's kind of like with obscuring being a thing and having a larger footprint, you can kind of have a larger footprint and then get onto the base and actually you can actually like use the terrain as it is rather than it all being abstract, which is nice. So I've basically made all of these bases for some of the that's one of the best paintings I was not talking about yet. Basically used all of these bases to extend the terrain's viability, because without bases it just doesn't really work. But also the thing is with bases, there's a problem. There's obviously a problem, right? As you saw it here. These units here. These units here, that's the problem we've got, chat. Look at them. They can hide perfectly behind this terrain. And the problem is towering, okay? No matter what you do at your event, there is going to be towering, okay? Whether it's Imperial Knights, whether it's Wraith Knights, whether it's anything else. And towering ignore obscuring, or basically can see through terrain as it is, which creates a problem for tournament organisers like myself. We have to start making some abstract rules. So whilst I love the look of these tables, I basically had to say there's no windows in these buildings whatsoever. Normally you would. So if you're behind the base, you can't see through. If you're in it, then it goes back to what it is actually on the base. But we had to say there's no windows. No windows are allowed because Wraith Knights are a thing. And there they are. But even so, even with that, when you have so many different types of tables, that you can have a problem of like an army being too dominant because clearly the opponent can't hide from them. And even when they can, they still do really well. Because this is the sort of thing we're dealing with now in 10th edition, and it's getting quite ridiculous. As you can see, All Stars Heat 4 was actually the largest event of the weekend at 49 players, which is quite surprising. But as you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 Eldar players in the top 9. At the carnage of at the Cossey Wellington, New Zealand of 48 players, there were 6 Eldar in the top 8, but there was actually another one in the top 10. Eldar, 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 Eldar. As you can see, Wasteland Wars actually had 1 Eldar, which is very interesting, but we had Eldar win this one. Eldar, 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 Eldar in this one. Eldar win this one. Eldar win this one. Eldar win this one. Orcs win that one. Eldar win this one. Imperial Knights win this one. Eldar, Eldar. Eldar won 10 out of 13 events this weekend, as you can see, with a 70% win rate and a 75% win rate without the mirror. Oh my god, it's actually getting beyond a joke now. It's actually crazy how big these numbers are getting for Eldar. 10 out of 13 events is actually stupid. Is actually beyond stupid, actually. Actually beyond stupid. And that is forcing tournament organisers to dig with their pockets and try and sort it and try and deal with towering so people can actually hide from Wraith Knights, and people can also hide Wraith Knights from Wraith Knights when there's a mirror match. And it's come to this. This is what it's come to. I was sent this picture by Anonymous from London. This is either a gaming club or a gaming event in London, and they were trying to deal with towering. And you know what? I commend anyone with a limited budget trying to deal with the problem in an army that is really out of their control. They're using the tools they have to deal with it. And the tools that they did have were from kitepackaging.co.uk, because gamers, we now have cardboard buildings. Cardboard buildings are back in fashion in 10th edition. Let's go, baby. This is a cardboard piece of terrain with 3D printed bits to hold it in place. This is how dire it is now. This is no shame on the organizer. This is all shame on the rules that are making people think it's okay to put cardboard on a table in a paid tournament environment. It's actually horrific that this is how it's come down to. Oh man, look at it. Isn't it glorious? Like MDF terrain. The narrative players are going wild. Narrative players are going wild. Look at them. Look at it. Look at it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Oh man. I shout out to him. This is just the things you have to do. It's bad. It's perfectly functional, clearly. You know, it's perfectly functional. I actually have the STL for the framework of this terrain. But to try and play cardboard terrain is a bit silly. Thanks for the 2, Steve. Look at the freehand. It's excellent writing. It is great writing, you know. I've actually seen this building in a novel. Ah. But this is how bad it's become, because the terrain is just so important now that people are scrambling. Like 10th edition is such a huge change from 9th edition, because we went from having terrain needing to be 5 inches tall, and then anything that's bigger than that can't see over. And you pretty much can only really hide knights in your deployments over like one building, and then everywhere else, no one could see each other because of the obscuring rule. With towering being added in, basically them ignoring obscuring, ignoring any rules that the terrain has, and just being able to see naturally all the time, which logically makes sense. But we have to remember, we're playing a game of toy soldiers where one person has infantry that shoot machine guns that might fire mini rockets, but they are machine guns at the end of the day. And we have gigantic, like 50, 20, 200 feet war machines that fire anti-tank weapons at any unit in the board. But they can also see straight across the board now, so there's no abstract from them. It becomes a bit silly how much you can actually kill and how much you can't hide. You might be able to hide in an L-shaped building, but they move 12 inches, can advance and shoot. They can phantasm, or they can fire and fade and get right in there. They can always see it, and it just becomes way hard to hide. And that's where we're left with things like this. So, like at home, using a bit of cardboard as terrain, totally fair. A paid event, honestly, I think it's just the game's problem, you know? I'm not going out here and slamming the TO saying this is a shit job. I think the TOs have used some ingenuity in this to try and fix the problem that they've had thrown on their laps, because the game changed so drastically to a point where every good model, every good shooting model can just see across the board and just delete anything it wants to. It's horrific. It's horrific. We got an STL. If anyone wants to make me a cardboard terrain STL, that'd be great. I hate being an Eldar player right now, especially someone who's playing 3 Rave Knights before 10th edition. Brave, brave. Very brave. Poor Hammer game is strong, it says. Yeah, definitely. Why are we still playing 10th? Because Warhammer's great. There's just a few issues, right? There's just a few issues with the game, but this is one way to fix it. The new terrain meta. With terrain like that, no painting requirements, surely. No, you'd hope so. You'd hope not. I was at this tournament. The TO said their printers had broken before they made all their terrain. Yeah, like, I can understand that. But if you're not telling people you got cardboard terrain before they turn up, I'd be pretty annoyed. Tournament terrain has always been awful, but damn, yeah, this is quite something. Quite something, that's for sure. I can't imagine the cost to change your whole table just for a rule. Yeah, like, for example, like, I showed you my tables there with the battle map bases, as I said. Like this one. Like, we added, as you can see, there's 2 buildings that don't match. I've added 2 buildings to each table, which is obviously an added cost. And, like, jokes aside, I had all these bases for free. I just cut them out on the Friday night. I had them, like, because basically they're A4 cut in half. That's the size of the base. They're almost 12 inches. But we added 2 buildings to every board, and thankfully I had these already, because if not, I'd have been having to be making them weeks before the event started, you know? So, like, I understand the problems of, like, a new mission pack coming, a new rule set coming out, and completely changing how all of the terrain functions, to a point where some terrain just doesn't work anymore. Like, crates hardly work unless you've got them stacked super high, like here. Craters don't really do anything anymore. Barricades don't really do anything anymore. And the game is so devastating that you need to have, like, just obscuring and physically blocked line of sight everywhere. Physical blocked line of sight everywhere is just the best way to do it. There's like the terrain just doesn't work otherwise, because it just, like, it's just there. You get a cover save, but everything's so damaging these days. it just doesn't work. So could have sprayed them black. Yeah, they could have sprayed them black. That probably would have been ideal. But yeah, just like fucking flat cardboard with the website where they bought it from and the size of the box they've cut it from. Probably could have sprayed it black, you know? The fact they stuck their schedule and not tried to get a proper fix out faster is an absolute joke. The tournament organisers or Games Workshop? What are we talking about? It needs more pizza boxes. I did actually consider that when we're talking about how many pizza boxes I ordered. I thought, how many boxes of terrain could I make with this? More pizza boxes to match the cheesiness of Aeldari. Yeah, 5 cheese pizza quite clearly. Can't wait for the Lego terrain to rise. I think Lego terrain is probably going to be more expensive than Warhammer terrain, ironically. Seeing these win rates of different factions make me not want to buy, let alone paint Tau, completely forgetting about playing for a long time. I'm not surprised, mate. I'm not surprised because the win rates are dog shit right now. Like, this balanced data slate that's due in September has got a lot to answer for. A lot to answer for. The amount of Eldar... Like our event was like 49 players and 9 players were Eldar. So 40 people weren't playing Eldar. Like, not even like Aeldari. Just not Eldar, specifically Craft Worlds. You know? It's pretty dumb. Give us true line of sight like Horus Heresy. Carrying Commissar, this is true line of sight. That's why it's there. The real sin is the clear bases on the knights. Yeah, I'm not a fan of clear bases either, to be honest. I think they look weird. How do you balance Eldar without rewriting the index? I've gone over multiple times how to rewrite Eldar. Price Wraith Knights through the roof. Get rid of devastating wounds on all of their weapons. Get rid of devastating wounds as a mechanic as a whole. And you're on to winner then. And also stop letting them put free dice in. When you why have dice that you just don't bother rolling? You just choose one from earlier. It's very stupid. I honestly can't wait to read the next... What's the music that's coming on today? What's it saying? I honestly can't wait to read the next official meta watch and see what the next Aeldari thing is they advertise for people to buy, like the last one. The last one was horrific, where they advertised the Wraith Knight on the win race thing. My local game store... My local game store has been building terrain out of pink foam. I'm doing it dirty cheap and it's still $70 a table. Yeah. Terrain isn't cheap, don't get me wrong. No matter what. Pipes are weird too. Yeah, pipes don't really work. That's making more of a point though, leaving them carbide field. Hopefully GW sees if she gives their noggins a set shake. The problem is that, like, yeah, you can be like, oh, well, Games Workshop might notice because people are using cardboard for terrain in tournaments because it's just the game's crap. But, like, ultimately, this doesn't really affect Games Workshop. It affects the people playing. It affects the standings the players have with the TO, and it affects the TO, and it affects the players actually playing on it. It doesn't really affect Games Workshop too much. Yeah, they might see it and be like, oh, that's pretty bad, but... Ugh. Regarding the rules fix facts of G-Dubs, not the tournament organisers, they're doing the best with what they got. I agree. I agree. It feels even more hilarious because you literally cannot buy satisfactory terrain for this from GW. That's also true, Kevin. Kevin, that's also very true, mate. The terrain that Games Workshop actually make is not functional. Like, everything has a window, everything has a gap, it has a crack down here, it has an explosion here, and it looks cool, but it just doesn't work in the game. Is it just me, or would everyone be okay with over-nerfing Eldar? I think everyone would be fine if they over-nerfed Eldar. Mortal Wounds has been an unfun mechanic since they're added. I think Mortal Wounds were interesting and they used them quite interestingly in the past few years. But I think giving Mortal Wounds to like loads and loads of units has been the problem. Like over spamming it. You know? Like Smite was fine, you know? Plasma doing Mortal Wounds to yourself was fine. You know, when a weapon rolled a certain amount and you got a couple extra Mortal Wounds, it was fine. Rin's Gravity, it's fine for becoming a member. Thank you so much. We're up to 4 out of 10. Let's try and get 10. Come on, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, come on, let's support the channel. Let's become a member. You got this. Thank you so much, Rin's Gravity, for becoming a member. You're an absolute star, mate. But yeah, like, every index has access to devastating wounds, some more than others. Some are like one combat weapon, which is probably fine. Some is like one type of gun, like a bolter, probably fine. And against certain targets. But then when you have like an anti-tank weapon that's devastating wounds, it's 2d6 damage that spills onto the entire unit, it's pretty stupid. Can we keep Dev Wounds on Thunderhammers? I've always said Dev Wounds should just ignore saves. So against big vehicles, you shoot an anti-tank weapon. That's great. That's fine. You know? But I've been saying it from the start. Devastating Wounds should just ignore all saves, invulnerables and all. Shoot an infantryman with an anti-tank weapon. Yeah, logically, it probably should kill a unit. But this is a game of toy soldiers. It's not real. It's okay if it just absolutely murders one. You know? Hey, Mercenary, thank you so much for gifting that membership. You absolute star. Thomas Backhouse, make sure you say thank you. And Mercenary Keith, thank you for supporting the channel. We're up to 5 members now. It's not caught up for some reason. It's not caught up my end. Let me just update it. We're up to 5 out of 10. Let's try and get 10. Let's go, baby. For some reason, it doesn't always keep up, but I'm keeping track, don't worry. Let's get that bigger number, better person. That's what they say. Hey, man, hope you're all well. Welcome, Thomas Backhouse. Make sure you join the Discord as well, because you've just been gifted a membership. As a pure Harlequins player, I just hope I don't get caught in the hammer swing and the rest of the Eldar get demolished by. No, unlikely. Harlequins aren't really doing that much. Everyone should get significantly rarer, only 1 to 3 weapons per index codex. Yeah, they should be mostly close combat based or very particular weapons. Devlin's is silly. I had a Wraith Knight deal 30. Oh, now it caught the member goal. There we go. I had a Wraith Knight deal 31 mortal wounds to my defiler. That was fun. Yeah, it's ridiculous because they can roll up to 6 shots naturally. They have blast on their weapons as well. And then it's 2d6 damage. So it's stupid. Are Warhounds viable now that they're 1100 points? No. No, they're not. As we said, a Wraith Knight can do 31 mortal wounds. And you want to put a Wraith Knight and a Warhound on the board. Brother, how? You need help, brother. More wounds should be capped. They should. They should. Could lead to more people not wanting to play a broken game. I hope the data like balances things better so we can play fun Warhammer. I agree, mate. I agree. I'm going to have to sit down. I'm shattered. My back's gone. My back's hurting. I'm sitting down. It's just so frustrating because the game could be so good, and the game was so good in 9th edition right at the end, right? But then they just went, oh, here's 10th edition, and ruined it. They just ruined it. They had some great ideas. Like, whenever people say that 10th edition's great, they talk about the index cards and the mission pack. And something that I actually spoke about on the Red Path podcast, All Around the World Eaters, last week. You might have gone and listened to it. You should do. The game of 10th edition is fine, but the index cards, like the idea of an index card, as in having all your rules on an index card, isn't unique to 10th edition. It's not limited by 10th edition. They could have done that in any edition. They could have gone in 9th edition and gone, here's all your rules on an index card. They could have even taken 9th edition right at the end and gone, okay, in a few months, we're actually going to reset all of the codexes and have them on index cards and keep the same game. Could have been 9th edition still. But also, they say the missions are really fun. And I agree, the missions are really fun, you know. But the missions aren't limited to 10th edition. 10th edition is doing a thing that 9th edition was doing. But they've changed it slightly. It didn't need a whole new edition to go, we want the index, the mission cards, the Leviathan mission pack. Because I do like the missions. I think the missions are great. But it's not exclusive to 10th. When people say 10th is great, they talk about all the things that aren't actually exclusive to the rule set of 10th edition. They don't actually talk about the rule set of 10th edition, which is mostly fine. The problem is when you have all of these cool special rules, like Anti, like Devastating Wounds, and then you like spam them across the indexes, it's an issue. The main issue with 10th edition is the indexes. The index rules, the things wrote on those cards, is the problem. You know? But like, all of the good bits about 10th edition that people shout about, you could have had them in 9th edition, you know? It's not a 10th edition exclusive to play Leviathan missions, because Leviathan missions will work if you play 9th edition. There is no difference. There is nothing in those mission packs that doesn't work in a previous edition. You can play them in 9th edition, 8th edition, 7th edition, you know? The only thing that isn't there is what defines eligible to shoot. But I think people can probably work that out, you know? I think people can probably work that out. But the mission pack could work with any edition. So it's not 10th edition exclusive. You can't say that's a good 10th edition thing because it's not 10th edition. It's just a thing. You know? The good thing about 10th edition is the core rules are mostly fine. Mostly fine. Hey, thanks to the 5 rings.
Cheers from the Red Path. The podcast episode was excellent. Thank you very much.
Hey, man.
Purple heart.
It was great. It was great. I really enjoyed going on the podcast with Dara. So if you haven't listened, I'll post a link in the Discord, so make sure you go and listen to it. It's me and Dara chatting about like 10th edition metagame and stuff like that. But yeah, so like what was I saying? Like the best things that people say about 10th edition aren't exclusive to the edition. The best things that the thing I like about 10th edition is I like the way that characters attach to units. That's a cool thing. I like that the units are like coherent and they have their own cool special rule. Now it makes the game really hard to follow, but I like that units have their own cool special rule. And I like that characters aren't just like taking the best characters, putting them near a unit, and everyone's getting rerolls. Like that's like gone, and I like that, and that's a 10th edition thing. But as JCMS has just said, fight order, towering, and terrain rules are kind of a mess. The terrain rules work without towering. Towering is the problem, but also anti and devastating wounds are also a bit of an issue. And I think that's like the main issue, right? If you said towering was completely different and just got rid of it, it'd probably be a great game. It'd be much closer to a great game. Wraith Knights would still be really good, you know? They'd still see something and but delete it. But without towering, they'd struggle to see it, you know? They'd struggle to start seeing stuff, which means you can actually play against them. The problem is you can't fucking hide from them. I didn't play any Eldar at the weekend. I don't know what the issue is. I'll do it. I didn't play Eldar when I played the last event. Just Devastating Wound 2 can't be splitted, and that's all to apply additional are lost, not reallocated on the unit. So you mean they just do damage, but they don't spell. As an Eldar player, I've been disappointed with how they play. If my opponent has a bad time, it also feels bad time for myself, so I'm leaving them on the shelf. Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of it comes down to people just not wanting to bother to play against Eldar, which is annoying. People just don't want to play and they get fed up with then they have to play, but they want to play Warhammer because a lot of the time they can have a great time, you know? Hey, Des, thanks for the 5.
iPhone, but thanks for a great weekend and you going the extra mile. And thanks to Georgie for putting up with you, winking face.
Des, thank you so much for the 5, mate. Really appreciate it. Glad you had a good time, though. I'm glad you had a good time, mate. Really appreciate it. You know, I say I love running events. I love having people come and play Warhammer and enjoy themselves. Sometimes they have to play against Eldar, but sometimes you can just have a good time. I'm glad you did, mate. Outside of towering aircraft, the 10th rules are really good. I agree, mate. I agree. Yeah, the terrain rules are like, they're like close to being there, but they're not quite right. And then towering's rubbish. Is it towering now, though? Because Knights have taken a dive, haven't they? Knights have taken a dive because of Eldar. I'm like, I would like put money on. There's the Eldar, because you can't put a Knight on the table if someone puts Wraith Knights on the table, because a Wraith Knight will win every time. Knights are really, really good. But I think like they're being kept down by other factions, like Eldar. And Eldar are keeping most people down. They've got 75% win rate, you know? So they're losing 1 in 5 games. Or 1 in 4 games. There's not Eldar.
Power level building means
Hey, Elgin.
you take dev wound weapons every time. Make speciality weapons cost appropriately to actually make it a choice.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you so much for the 5. Really appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Like the power level way we are building lists at the minute of just like a unit costs this much, so it doesn't matter what it's equipped with, is very weird. And it's like, it's just, there's no granularity in like a unit. You can take a Wraith Knight with a sword and Wraith Knight with 2 D cannons, and they're going to function on the table very differently. And one of them way more efficiently, but they are the same points. And the problem is, if you just keep bumping the points, then the then the unit is just going to be unusable. But also, the worst version of the unit is even more more unusable. You know, and it's like, why is that? Why is that? If you're gonna have everything cost the same on a single unit, it should all be balanced to itself. If something costs 500 points with a gun and 500 points with a sword, it should be equally as good with the sword that it is with a gun. And that's not the case. And they're not going to be able to achieve that. Because they're going to have to make the rules really, really weird. Or just really bland. Like you've got Wolfen, where you've got sword, hammer and shield. Or you've got the claws, but the hammers aren't actually hammers anymore. They're just strength 5 with 1 damage, but they give them an extra wound because they've got a shield. Or you can take the claws, which are like better. And like that's comparable. But what they've had to do to balance some units is to go like heirloom weapons, you know, accursed weapons. And it's like, none of these weapons are different by the rules, but one of them's holding a hammer, one of them's holding a claw, one of them's got a chainsword, and it's all strength 1, 5, -2, 1 damage, rerolling wins, or whatever, you know? And like, unless you're doing that to every unit, then it's not going to work. They shouldn't have Eldar D cannons with devastating wounds. It should be heavy Wraith cannon, which is the same strength as like the combat version, but the combat version is like gets like more attacks, but like the shooting version could do it over multiple turns. So like, it's annoying. Absolute weird thing about 10th that every single bad thing was spotted literally minutes after seeing the rules on a card. There isn't a single thing that wasn't as bad as it seemed. No, I agree, mate. I agree. Like, you know, we were all talking about it as soon as we could. We all said, well, this is really dumb. This is really broken. Look at Deathwatch. And it was interesting because Deathwatch were the first ones that they like got the first change. You know, Deathwatch came out and they brought out anti-infantry 2+. And then they realized that with combi bolters, you could make mortal wounds on a 2+, and you could get a unit to shoot twice with like 60 shots. You can have a unit doing 120 mortal wounds in a turn by shooting twice. They realized they fucked up very quickly. And then they changed it the next day. And that was amazing. And then they didn't change anything ever again. You know? It was like, they just didn't, it was like really promising because they were like, this is like a humongous problem. And you fixed it within hours. Literally within hours, you've already fixed it. And we're all like, this is the new Games Workshop, not the old Games Workshop. And then they just didn't bother doing that ever again. And it's like, you've got units that are doing similar amount of mortal wounds. And they're taking 2 of them. And people can't kill them because they're -1 damage and -1 to wound. And they're like keeping out of range because they've got really long range. They ignore the terrain, but you're just ignoring them. Ugh. Today's Meta Monday was hilarious. They were literally entitled to a top 10 world. I know we did that. We had to scroll through, mate. I mean, the Eldar changes to limiting the number of models in the unit that previously was like 3 support weapons and war walkers. Not that that happened. No, that obviously didn't happen, Steve. And there was no other changes whatsoever. But then they just didn't bother changing anything else when they realised that it still had loads of problems. They just went, oh well. You know what they said? No problems here, guys, because the Tacoma Open, no one in the top was playing Eldar. That's what they were saying. No one in particular said that. No one in particular, obviously. I'm not calling anyone specific out. Please don't hate me. However, we're sat here with Eldar being 7 of the top 10 places at some large events, and they're like, you just want to feel heard, you know? You know, I want to sit in a room. I want some mediation between me and a relationship counselor and Games Workshop, and I just want them to feel. I just want to feel heard. That's all I want now. I just want them to listen, even if they don't take it on board. I just want to hear I feel like they're listening to me. So hear me out. Dev wounds are fine if it's not mortals and you can't fate dice it. So if you roll a 6, you modify it's not dev wounds. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Like, not mortals, so just ignoring saves. I think just ignoring saves is probably better. It means that Wraith Knights are really good at killing tanks, but not much else. Making a quick change and then never addressing other issues is the standard GW operating procedure. Has been for years. It's just disappointing. If GW don't fix it, what's the solution for the All Stars final? What is the fix with the All Stars final? If Games Workshop don't address the main issues in the next balance data slate, what do? I don't fucking know. Do I make up my own rules? No one will come. No one will turn up. You know? Remember last time I made my own community balance data slate and I got slated for it for about 6 months? No one will turn up. It will be dog shit. Community data slate the second coming. Maybe I'll tank my career again. You know? Devastating wounds, gone. Ignore saves. I've said that from the start. You made a great date slate though, then GW copied that your homework. They did do that. They did do that. Yeah, I would get rid of Devastating Wounds in its current form and make it ignore saves. So like, it's like Mortal Wounds against a single model. Should be fine. I'd get rid of Towering. I think Towering needs to go. You know? I don't know how you fix Towering. Maybe they can see like through the first level of terrain, which would be cool. So like they can't see through multiple pieces of terrain, they can only see through one. That'd be like a big change because they can't get wholly on terrain to see through, so that just wouldn't work. What else? G's of the cults can only come back once, maybe. Like the units can only come back once. And I don't know, they need fixing somehow. Overwatch, because only in the charge phase. That'd be the other one. Yeah, get rid of Fate Dice. Fate Dice aren't there. Don't need it. They got reroll hits and wounds in one. Oh, reroll a hit and a wound roll. They don't need Fate Dice as well. Solution, every time I play uses a Fate Dice, you should have to down a pint. Doesn't removing Towering fix a lot of the problems with just one change? Yes. Yes. Getting rid of Towering is like the one thing that you can do to fix most of the game. You know? Eldar fall down because Wraith Knights can't kill everything across the board, which is great. It means they can't teleport an Incarn turn 1 as consistently as they can now, which slows that down quite a lot. Also, the points need to go up with Wraith Knights and Incarns, in my opinion. So I think they're too cheap. What else happens? Imperial Knights then are actually playable because Wraith Knights can't kill them across the board, but they also can't see everything that they're playing against. So they are also like kind of like the mid-ground gatekeeper type list. Towering seen through terrain if they're within 12 inches of it. Yeah, like 12 inches isn't too bad, but they are quite fast, so I'd probably make it less than that. I'd say they can only see through what? The first one. Or like one. But maybe that's also too long. I don't know. GSC roll before the game. If they roll a 5+, they are found by an Inquisitor and remove half their army. Sorted. Make them draw line of sight by standing in terrain, but not need to be wholly within. That'd be a great idea. Would GW want to, though? We would make them look silly. GW don't want to. But I think they just kind of like need to own up to their mistakes and just be like, you know what, guys? Little bit of a dodo. Little bit of a dodo moment. Sorry. Here's a better game. That's the thing. They don't want to admit it, but they do need to. You know, I think it's gonna be better for the long game if they do just go, you know what, we did kind of mess up. I'll talk about banning Eldar. Just banning Towering, mate. I think Towering's the problem with Eldar, along with Fate Dice. Fate Dice, Towering, and Devastating Wounds. They're like the main three problems. Again, it's just been the lack of communication has been the problem. Phantasm is annoying, I agree with that, to be fair. If we give Wraith Knights obscuring, Phantasm suddenly becomes a big problem. Limit Fate Dice to once per turn instead of once per phase with only 6 to start with. Yeah, Fate Dice should be limited. I think it should be once per unit per turn. Or one one unit can be affected each turn. My local idea for Jay's Tower is if you shoot the obscure, you counter shooting indirect. I don't think it makes much of a difference though. That's been a thing that's been suggested a lot. I don't think that helps enough. Because again, you've got Aeldari, and it's like, I'll just choose a 4 to auto hit, or I'll like roll to hit with a re-roll. And then I'll roll a 6, so it doesn't matter if you get cover, you get small wounds. As soon as you start thinking through it, there's so much wrong. Most of these dev wounds as a whole, it's not a mechanic that should be in a reset. No, I agree, mate. It's not a mechanic that should be in the game at all. It's just a really bad mechanic. It sounds exciting, but it's not. There's a Texas GT, forgot the name, but they basically got rid of Taran and Eldar still won handily. But I bet it was more of a game. I bet it was more of a game, not being able to like shoot across the board all the time. Eldar more than capable of winning without Wraith Knights. Also very true. Also very true. Fire Prisms are far too cheap. Night Spinners are extremely good. You know? There's a lot in there. But the thing is most lists are running 2 Wraith Knights. Most lists that are winning are running 2 Wraith Knights. You know? How is a Fire Prism 150 points? I know, it's stupid. It's stupid, right? Do you know what else is stupid? That we've only hit 5 members and I'm going off in 20 minutes. What's going on, chat? Chat, I'm going to die. I'm going to be poor. Listen, I keep shouting to Games Workshop and I'm going to keep emailing them. I'm going to keep saying to my reps and being like, hey, this isn't right. I'm not happy with this. And they're going to keep being annoyed at me for making videos. But only if you want to support me by becoming a member for as little as £1.99 a month.
Why are you ignoring how powerful indirect?
Your message has stopped playing, Steve. Steve, your message has stopped working. That's a real shame. That's a real shame that your message stopped reading out to me. It's a shame I'll never know what it said. That's a real shame, mate. Sorry, bro. Why are you ignoring how powerful indirect is in this edition? You know that's completely broken, but you aren't talking about it. Is that because that's a rule you like to abuse in your seal clubbing? I don't think indirect is... It's good. It's very good, but a lot of the units are quite heavily pointed for it. But yeah, Desolation Marines are very good. But Desolation Marines aren't winning every event. They aren't doing this. No matter what you say, no matter what you say about me using Desolation Marines, they aren't doing this. You know? No matter what. Indirects might be good, but they aren't doing this. Ba-bam. Oh, okay, Oaks. Ba-bam. 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 But Steve, thank you so much for the 10, mate. Really appreciate it. I heard that you're streaming a very cool and attractive tournament this weekend. Kevin Fowler, I am streaming a very cool and attractive tournament this weekend. We're streaming the Goonhammer Open all weekend. Very exciting. You know what the best way to make less money to afford to be a member with you is own a local game store like me. Have you not tried selling Wraith Knights, J-Mad? That's the best way to do it. Hey, Carl, thank you so much for becoming a member, my brother. You absolute legend, you babe, you beautiful, beautiful man. Thank you so much for becoming a member, buddy. Really appreciate it. I can't member from Spain unless it's on my phone. I can't donate members on your channel on my phone. Rubbish. Indirect is okay. It's the fact that the units have it for some reason and have easy access to ignoring the negatives of it. Also true. You think I can order Wraith Knights? Fair. Got me there. Got me there, J-Mad. Give Desolation Marines mortal wounds. Devastating wounds. I agree. Don't worry, guys. We have a codex imbalance to come yet. No doubt the broken Eldar Dex is already gathering dust in Chinese warehouse. Yeah, like, I think that'll definitely, like, control what Games Workshop can do with, like, fixing stuff. Is, like, how far into print they are, you know? How many codexes have already been printed? How many indexes have been redone and ready to be reprinted already? You know? Like, how much can they then change for then the codex to come out to change it back for them to change it again? Depose the Eldar and GSC tyrants of today to surrender to the indirect T-Sons gods of tomorrow. I honestly think that they're probably going to address, if they are going to address anything, they're going to address a lot of the top, because they know for a fact that as soon as Eldar are nerfed or ruined, another army will jump in its place, like Thousand Suns, like probably Knights, I imagine. I do think tiring should be softened rather than removed unless Knights are removed as a faction. They need to correct the fact that nobody's terrain, old or new, will leave them feasible. No, I agree. I think they just need a better way to do it. I didn't like how they did it in 9th edition. So I think it'd be nice to do it a better way in 10th. Haven't they still got to fix the misprint mission cards too? Yes. They have been rushing a lot, so prints are fucked. Well, speaking of prints, Games Workshop actually talked about some Tyranid rules today. And I've actually not read these yet, so I thought we'd have a look at that. Let's have a look at the new Tyranid rules by GW that were showed off today at the Wargaming community article. Smash or sneak? You decide in the first look at the new detachments from Codex Tyranids. The new Codex Tyranids is up for pre-order this weekend, and its first Codex released for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. It's crazy that they're going for space Tyranids, not Space Marines first, but fair enough. Fair enough. Inside you'll find all the lore, showcase miniatures and rules you've come to expect, as well as complete rules to play with your horde of extra galactic alien monsters. The new Codex replaces the free index which came out at the start of the edition, expanding your army options with new detachments, introducing new and updated data sheets. So I was told this is something they wouldn't be doing. I was told this is something they wouldn't be doing. They wouldn't be changing the data sheets for the codexes. But that might have been wrong. That might have been wrong. It's surprising that they're going to be changing the indexes already. You know, or the data sheets already. Because everyone's gone out and bought those index cards. And they're already out of date. And they weren't when they came out. But now they're super out of date. Now, again, like, hopefully this is just models and data sheets that have new models, like Biovores, like Termagants with new guns and stuff like that. We know the Termagant sheets are changing, the new models have new weapon options. Yeah, that's true. If that's the only change, then that's fine. In addition to the familiar invasion fleet detachment, which we already have, there are 5 more to choose from. For the Tyranids, these represent the various ways that a high fleet wages war over the course of their invasion. And today we're declassifying some vital Ordo Xenos intel on how they work. Here by these new cards. If you bought the NID cards knowing the credits are coming out, it's kind of your own fault. No, I don't think it is the consumer's fault, because not everyone is super as engaged as we are. They'll keep track of the stuff they're being released, but not everything. And it's Games Workshop like kind of like taking advantage of people if they're like, here's some cards, and then 2 months later they're releasing new cards. It's the not the consumer's fault, because they might not realize this is totally Games Workshop. I don't like it. I don't think it's fair. But I like that they're re-releasing the index cards to sell them with the new rules, with all the codexes stuff in. If it's got all the enhancements and new stratagems in, that's great. But it'd be nice if you just had to go out and buy your codex if you already have the index cards, you know? And be like, oh, I only need this 1 page open. So, each detachment offers your unique benefits of detachment rule, 4 enhancements and 6 stratagems, while some factions have found that the detachment index changes slightly when their new codex arrives. This is not the case of Invasion Fleet, which functions exactly the same as it does now. So that's a nice thing. At least you've... Nice and bad thing. The Invasion Fleet is the same. But then do you need data cards? I suppose if the units are all changing, then you do. If you like your biomonsters large and stompy, you'll be glad to see the return of the Crusher Stampede. Oh no. Games Workshop, this is not the right way to sell it to people. The Crusher Stampede was so broken. That was so broken. Vietnam noises and flashbacks. Gotta run. No, bud. I'm just glad they're carrying on with cards going forwards. Hopefully it means I can just buy them and not need to look books around to the games. That's also true. That's something I've not really considered. If they're bringing out index cards, if they have all the rules for the enhancements and stratagems and stuff, do you need a codex? Do you actually need the codex at that point? Or what? Because you'll have everything. So the codex will have points in, which will get updated online anyway. Do we not need codexes anymore? Do we only need the index cards? Index cards for data sheets only. Are they? Do we need the index cards? Do we need the codex? So we got the new pack here. This is from the from yesterday's preview. This pack of new and updated data sheet cards complements Codex Tyranids with all of your detachment rules that occupy such a single double-sided page spread. These cards speed up your games with useful information at hand without needing to leaf through the codex. So does that mean that it's a 2 double page spread in the codex, or double page spread of cards? The wording makes it sound like the attachment rules will be in the codex, not the cards. Very ambiguously worded. The attachment rules are in the codex. Yeah, I was there. It's like cheating GW rules. Yeah, it is. It complements the codex. Yeah, so are they saying that you have a one-page spread of your enhancements and stratagems, and then you have the data cards for the units, which is pretty bullshit. Ugh. Games Workshop, I hate you. Hate you sometimes. I don't know why. I don't think that's fair. I think the data sheet should remain free if that's what they're gonna do. If they're gonna lock the enhancements and stratagems behind a paywall, the data sheets will be free. Anyway, so the detachment rule for Crusher Stampede, even though I'm not super excited about it anymore. Each time a Tyranid monster from your model from your army makes an attack, add 1 to hit roll if that model's unit is below its starting strength. And add 1 to wound roll if that model's unit is below half strength. So as soon as a monster takes a wound, they get +1 to hit, which is pretty fun. The current index cards have all the rules from army detachment, strats, and enhancements. Be strange not to do it the same with the new packs. Yeah, I agree, Carl. That does sound strange, but then when you read it, it doesn't sound like that's the case. It's a system of battle detachment with early monsters, so it's fine. But take a wound, you get +1 to hit. If you blow half strength, you get +1 to wound as well. So at least you never really degrade. You're only ever better. It's fine. With army construction being much easier in the new edition, you can now fill your force with all the clan effects as Morlocks and Tervigons you'd like. And it's $1 to make sure that every unit on your side of the battlefield benefits from the new rules. Don't worry about having fewer miniatures on the board to contest objectives. The Ominous Presence enhancement shows up the OC stat on your characters. Add 3 to the various objective control characteristics. That's really good. Monsters are much more durable than sisters, though. I agree. I missed the last hour and a half. Can we go back to slagging off Eldar? The turning monsters will never get the bonuses when they are one shot off the board with devastating wounds. Also true. Let's look at these in a vacuum. It seems fine. Perhaps it's still early days for invasion. You're trying to keep your swarming on the down low instead of crushing everything in your path. Build your army with Vanguard Onslaught detachment and slip those lovely new Lictors, Neurolictors, and Death Leapers right behind your opponent's lines. Teenage units of this army are available to charge which they fell back. Nice. So everyone can fall back and charge. Vanguard Invader units with this ability available to a charge in which they advance. So Vanguard Invader probably being a new keyword. Do we have Vanguard Invader already? Is that a thing? I don't think it is. But if it is, it's not used right now. On these free data sheets so we can look at Games Workshop. Vanguard. Vanguard Predator. Is that everything? Yeah. We've only got Gene Stealers that mention Vanguard. With Vanguard Predator. So brand new keyword, Vanguard Invader. Vanguard Prime. Death Leaper loses the Hunter Organism rule. It can be your Warlord. So I presume Hunter Organism is... Which I should have kept it open. He's probably denies him being a Warlord. As you might expect, these sneaky critters specialize in assassinating key units with blistering assaults. Vanguard Invader units also include most flying creatures, as well as Broodlords and Gene Stealers, so even if the stealth isn't your cup of tea, you'll have plenty of lightning-fast bruisers to pick from. So Gene Stealers, sneaky stuff, and stuff with fly, so Hive Tyrants can advance and charge. Woo! That's going to be good. New Wing Tyranid Prime barreling towards your opponents with the Chameleonic enhancement, keeping it safe from Assassin's Beast stratagem in your pocket. The Bearer of Stealth ability. Each time ready to attack targets a bearer, they have the benefit of cover. So -1 to hit and +1 save. Not bad. and give them precision. Invade an infantry unit for your army that's not been sent to fight. Give them precision. That's really good. So you'll be able to claw out characters, which would be really nice. With like Gene Stealers, probably. Broodlords can already do it with a core stratagem. 30 Gene Stealers charging tier 1 sounds spicy. It does sound very spicy. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for gifting the membership to James Evans. Thank you so much, Brian. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Gifted member.
Thank you so much for the gifted membership. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, everyone. We're at 7 members. We've got 3 to go. 3 to go. That's all. You can become a member for as little as £1.99 a month. That is less than most things in life. Even a bottle of Pepsi Max I had. Thank you so much, James Evans. You're a freeloader now, so make sure you join our Discord. It's the best place to be if you want to talk about Warhammer all day, every day. Let's get 3 members. Come on, boys. We can do this. That's 1 every 2 minutes. Easy. So yeah. Advance and charge Gene Stealers. Advance and charge Hive Tyrant sounds scary. They're pretty good. And then Death Leaper stuff. So you can give a Warlord trait to a Death Leaper. I imagine it would be pretty fun. Already there. You're there properly now, James. Make sure you link your account so you can get the members area. Each detachment puts a wildly different spin on your battle plans, and since they're not locked to any particular Hive fleet, you can chomp and change which one you're using whenever you like. Listen. This is Games Workshop saying it's okay for Blood Ravens to play as Deathwatch. It's just a different colour, guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what colour we are. Just play them as anything you want. Who cares? Perhaps you flood the board with an unending swarm of endless multitude infantry. So that's like Termagants, Hormagaunts, etc. Build a devouring assimilation swarm around a brood of hungry Horospexers, or unleash the power of the hive mind itself in the synaptic nexus. So unending swarm, as you say, we've got like the swarms, the chaff. Assimilation swarm, we've got Gene Stealers and Warriors, by the looks of it, with Hive Tyrants. And then synaptic nexus is obviously all the psychic stuff. We've got the new brain bug. Oh, I can't remember his name. And then we got the zone ropes as well. That's all we can divulge for now. Inquisitorial privilege and all that, but we'll be back for tomorrow chatting to the designers of the new characters about how they tackled the monumental task before them. There's also plenty more to unveil for the book as you approach pre-orders on Saturday, so don't miss it. Neuro Tyrant, thank you so much. I forgot about that. The other brain bug. So it feels very much like if we're going to get 6 detachments, we're going to have 6 different, like, essentially armies of renown, right? So armies of renown are a thing of 9th edition where you can only take certain units, but they doesn't sound like they're doing that. But essentially, certain units that you take in these armies of renown would get a cool benefit for taking those. And that's what it feels like. Like, Crusher Stampede was a thing that you only took monsters in. You couldn't actually take anything else. While they doesn't sound like they're going to have that sort of limitation of only being able to take monsters, the monsters in that detachment are going to be better than normal compared to any other detachment. And that's like a really cool way to build detachments, I think. The problem is, as I mentioned, as JCMS has realised, Tai Matsushita. I'm so sorry if I butchered that. Tai, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, brother. Oh my god. Tai, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. We made the membership goal. We're up to 12 now. He's going to catch up any second. Tai, mate, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Philippe, Russell, New Renaissance, Abner Yates, and MB. Make sure you say thank you to Tai for those 5 gifted memberships. Had to get you over the line. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate it, buddy. Really appreciate it, brother. That's really kind of you. Thank you so much. I know I'm like super deflated today, and I'm not like super energetic as normal, but I do really appreciate the support. I'm just shattered. But you're a star, mate. Thank you so much. Really, really kind of you, mate. Thank you. So, again, if you've just been given a membership, welcome to the Freeloaders Club. You can join our Discord for free for 30 days now. If you're a member, make sure you link to YouTube, your Discord account, link them together so you can get full access to the Discord. hang out with me, hang out with all the cool people, say thank you to Ty directly, and I really appreciate it. So thank you so much, mate. You're a star. I know I always ask, and I know it can be frustrating, I know it can be annoying, it can be like detrimental to content if I'm constantly asking for members, so I try not to ask too much, but you're a star for getting us over the line, so thank you so much. And thank you everyone who's gifted a membership or super chat today. I do really, really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. Where was I? I lost where I was. Detachments. Yeah, so like the fact that you can have like different detachments benefit different units is great. The problem is all of these detachments are going to have different enhancements, and they're all going to have different stratagems. And whilst it's already been so hard to learn what every single unit can do in the game, because every single unit has its own unique ability, a lot of the time there's hardly any units that don't do anything. Every unit has like a reroll ones to hit if they're on an objective, reroll all hits if they're on an objective, or if you're not on an objective, and there's like this unit can spot for here, and this unit can reroll this, and this unit is -1 while it's leading, this unit is doing this and that. Now think about that. But then you've got to learn all 6 stratagems from every detachment, because every stratagem is probably useful in the game because there's only 6 that you can use. Oh man, it's going to be awful. We've got to learn 36 stratagems from every book. Because in 9th edition, we all had probably 36 or more stratagems, but most of them were shit. Most of them were shit. Now we're going to have 6 that are really good in each detachment because there's only 6. What if some are copy-paste? Now, some are copy-paste. But you know, there's quite a lot. There's quite a lot of them that aren't. So, like, Armor of Contempt is in most Space Marines, and it's in Chaos Space Marines as well. So that's like one that you've learned for like 5 armies. But gonna disagree. Games are more fun if you win, not through gotchas. Who are we disagreeing with? Gotcha moments make the game spicier. Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking to me then. I was like, what? They make the game spicier in a way that it's like you've constantly got to play around them, maybe. If you're just trying to win because your opponent doesn't know what your army can do, that's not good luck in my opinion. You only have to remember 6 per game, which is nice. But that's 6 per game, and let's say you play 6 rounds. That's 36 stratagems you got to think about, unless you play the same army twice. Again, most armies, you could look at an army, like in 9th edition, you could look at any army, you could be like, okay, they're probably going to have this stratagem, and they're going to use that loads. They're probably going to have this one that's quite good, and they're going to have this relic, or enhancement equivalent, and they're going to use that, and they're going to have this little power ball, and you're going to learn it very quickly. Whereas now we're going to have to learn each detachment and kind of learn how each detachment is going to function really well. Now, each detachment could be really rubbish. There could be a standout one, which will be what happened in 9th edition. There was like loads of detachments, but there was always one standout one that everybody played. And like, that's the most likely thing to happen. So we actually don't have to learn 36 strats per codex. We learn 6, really, because everyone's running the same one until that gets nerfed and everyone starts playing the other one. But even then, when in the previous edition, if we were learning an army, we'd learn the core ones and then they'd have one special one, and now it's 6 special ones instead of core ones, which is really interesting. 900 different rules interactions, simple, not simplified. I should clarify, I don't research the armies I don't play, so I always go in blind. Well, same. Those 6 rounds will be 3 into Eldar with the same strat, so we're down to 24. Also true. Also very true. All you're saying the best option for us is that only one detachment is good per book, so we only need to remember 6. Yeah, so one detachment is going to be really good, and everyone's going to play that one. I'm not learning 36 strats. I'm only going through to have a rough idea what mine are. That's why I'm going to be at the children's tables by the end of every event, buy each other drinks and have fun. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We're gonna end up with one good one, and then most players aren't even gonna know what they have themselves. But that's it. That's it. That's what's happening. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm sure we've not seen the best of the Tyranid Codex just yet. And when people can actually talk about it and get their hands onto it and learn about, or read and have a good look at everything in the book, I'm sure there's going to be some dumb stuff in there, and I'll be bringing you the news as fast as possible. Mikey literally proofreads what I'm about to type because... Oh my god, I actually just did as well. Mikey just literally proofreads what I type before he reads it because he knows I'm a bell and it's funny to watch. I actually did read it before reading it out as well, and then I laughed because I realized I did it. You are a knobhead. Yeah, it's true. Oh, and on that note, I think it's time for me to end. I'm so tired. I'm going to go to bed. I hardly slept over the weekend. I mean, I was like up at like 6 and home at like 12 both days. My voice is gone. I'm absolutely shattered. But it's been a pleasure to hang out and laugh at dumb terrain, dumb rave nights. And I'm sure in a week or two we'll be in a very interesting place. And if it's not fixed, you'll be happy to know that I'll still be shouting at how dumb the game is, because it is dumb right now. I went to one last weekend with Votan and didn't get the golden spoon. Didn't get a golden spoon. That's going in the book of grudges. Excellent. Excellent. Right, I'm going to call it a night. So thank you so much, everyone who's supported me with the super chat or gifted membership. You are all more than very generous. You are all amazing people, and thank you for letting me do what I do full time. I love making content. I know I'm tired today, but I do love hanging out with you. I've missed streaming for the whole week. It's been weird without streaming, but I'm going to be back on Wednesday. We'll be working on the Grey Knights Army as part of it, but we'll also be doing some drama, and hopefully I'll be much more awake than normal. As you can see, look how gross I look. Look at my eyes. Look how red they are. They're so gross. Look at them. I'm so disgusting. But what's not disgusting is my love for you. So thank you so much for hanging out, everyone. I really appreciate you all. I don't think anyone is going to be live this time. We've not had anyone live for ages. Varak specifically doing Member Monday, so we'll leave that because it's members only. But yeah, I'm going to be live on Wednesday. I'm also probably going to be live Thursday morning for the reveal. At 2 a.m. Shall we do a stream for the reveal? Maybe I'll be more tired than now or less tired than now. Who knows? But obviously, I'm going to be live on Wednesday. I'm also going to be live all weekend streaming the Goon Hammer Open with Tom and Nick. So it's an exciting back-to-back big weekend of streaming. 6 rounds in Leicester, which should be really fun. We've got a really cool setup. I'm going to be like on the sofa. It's gonna be boys' club. We're gonna be drinking beer. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So that's happening this weekend. So make sure you tune in if you can. Come and support the stream. Come and hang out. But otherwise, thank you all. Love you all, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. Goodbye for now. Bye, and